Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Nurse Babe Britt, and in today's video, I'm going to be discussing why I chose to go back to school to be a nurse practitioner over going back for CRNA. So if that is something that interests you, then please stay tuned and listen for more. Alright, so recently I got a question asking why did I choose acute care adult gerontology nurse practitioner over CRNA? And I did get the opportunity to shadow with a CRNA before making my decision, and then I worked alongside other acute care Adult-Gero NPs because I worked in a CVICU, and so I was able to see how both roles functioned and what it looked like. And most CRNA programs require you to shadow someone, but even if they don't, still do it so that way you can compare. But for me, I had a great experience, and there was like 10 out of 10, like the preceptor was great. Like there was nothing wrong with my experience. I just found myself more interested in what was going on the other side of the sterile curtain in the sterile field, where the surgeon was actually operating versus what anesthesia was doing. That's kind of pretty much solidified the decision for me. I enjoy doing procedures. I enjoy seeing patients progress through the different phases of care. And what I mean by that is like preoperatively, intraoperatively, postoperatively, when they come back in for follow-up appointments. I enjoy having the flexibility of being able to work in any phase of care that I want and see patients progress throughout all of them. And you, as a nurse practitioner, you can still work in an OR. You can be a first assist to the surgeon. So if you're someone who likes surgery or you like working in an OR, but maybe not so much an anesthesia component, you can still do it as a nurse practitioner, as an acute care Adult-Gero nurse practitioner. I enjoy the flexibility that being an NP provides. I also have prescriptive authority. So with that comes, you have to know your medications, you have to know your drugs, you have to know your disease processes and all those things before you prescribe something. But I enjoy the flexibility and the autonomy that that being a nurse practitioner gives me. Every state does not allow like full practice authority in a sense of like if I want to open up my own clinic or my own outpatient facility or whatever. Every state doesn't allow that. Some states say you have to have a physician involved. Some states say that you don't. And so you really just have to know what your state laws are and what they permit for nurse practitioners. But I do enjoy knowing that if I wanted to open up my own practice somewhere, that I have that ability. If I want to do telehealth, I have that ability. And so it's very flexible, and it provides like so many different opportunities as a nurse practitioner. And that is what was like very important for me. I think there's a misconception that if you do Adult-Gero acute care, then you're restricted to working in the ICU. And everything I just named are examples of places that you can work. You're not restricted to working in the ICU. I know you commonly see nurse practitioners working in that setting that are acute care NPs, but that is a choice. We do have several options presented to us, and if you want to work specifically for like a certain team like endocrinology or nephrology, or you want to work for surgery and round on the patients, or you want to work alongside the hospitalist, you have so many different options. Inpatient, if you want to do outpatient, obviously you cannot work in a pediatric clinic if you do adults for obvious reasons. But you can still work in an outpatient facility that mainly sees adults, that maybe does surgeries or cardiology or a pain management clinic. Like, you have so many different options. I did not want to be restricted to only working in the OR in the event that I want to work somewhere else. And that is why I finally decided, okay, adult gerontology acute care NP is for me. Now, with that being said, no decision is like a permanent one. And what I mean by that is later on down the line, after I graduate and I start working, if I say, hey, I want to go back and I want to, become a CRNA and I want to start doing anesthesia, I can do that. I can still apply to school and go back to school. Like, you're not restricted. Like, once you decide to do the CRNA route or the NP route, you can always go back to school and, you know, do something else and add something underneath your belt. Also, there are dual programs out there for people that want to do CRNA and acute care at the same time. So that is something, if you really enjoy the idea of doing both, then that is something that I would encourage you to look into, like those dual programs. Obviously, it's going to be very, very rigorous because CRNA school is very hard and P school is hard. So it's going to be very rigorous, but obviously it's doable. If it wasn't, then it wouldn't be an option. So that is another thing to keep in mind. But if I later on down the line, I just wanted to make it clear, like, you can always go back if you say, okay, it's time for a change, or I want to do something different. Right now, for where I am in life and, you know, what I desire out of becoming an advanced practice provider, acute care adult gerontology is what fit me best. I did a separate video explaining FNP versus acute care NP, and so all the things I listed in that video are reasons why I chose acute care NP, because, like I said, of the things that I enjoy doing and what I want to do. Also, I want to say that as an acute care adult gerontology nurse practitioner, you still learn how to intubate patients. You put in central lines, you put in arc lines, you put in you do lumbar punctures, you do so many different things. So you still get a little bit of that airway in there. I guess I won't say anesthesia, but you still get some of that in there. Depending on what hospital you work at, you might not always see a nurse practitioner or a CRNA rather working their full capacity as far as their full scope of practice, and that a lot of times has a lot to do with the hospital itself. For example, if it's a teaching hospital, you might not see a CRNA working in their full scope of practice because you have the anesthesiologist, you have the residents, you have the AA program, you have so many people there that need experience as well. So you might not see them doing everything that their role actually allows them to do. And the same thing with a nurse practitioner that's working at a teaching hospital versus a nurse-driven hospital. You might not ever really see them intubate. You know, you might not ever see them do a lumbar puncture, or, you know, you might really only see them put in central lines, and even that you might not see it on day shift. Maybe you only see it on night shift. It has a lot to do with where you work and the resources or lack thereof that are presented there. But that is why it's important to do your research. Ask, you know, people that work in the field or are currently going back to school, like, what exactly it entails, because what you see, you know, isn't always the biggest picture, you know, involved. And so I hope that answers that question. If I didn't answer something, or if I can go into deeper detail, please feel free to place your questions or concerns in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn your notifications on so you'll be the first to know when I post my next video. Again, I'm Nurse Bae Britt, and thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.